Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. We're here today on our Wellness and Weight Loss Wednesday. Today's topic is going to be about how to best integrate some small cheats or some small treats throughout the week, how they may affect your overall hormones, blood sugar, inflammation, or weight gain, and if it's right for you. So basically, there was a great debate that I heard. Should you have small, little, moderate cheats every day, meaning like a couple cookies, some chocolate, like whatever your favorite treats are, maybe it's some chips, or should you just once a week have one big cheat meal that might equate to all the smaller cheats maybe throughout the week? So just a couple examples would be this. Should you just allow yourself maybe some a little bit of bread on a daily basis, right? Some gluten, some wheat, some things that could be inflammatory. Or like I said, would it be okay to have some chips after dinner or with lunch? To have a couple cookies, each night after dinner or mid-afternoon? What might be another one that people like? Or some different crackers, like their favorite crackers that are more processed-based foods. So, and I'm not talking about candy. We can talk about candy if you want. So let's add cake to the list. Should you have a little sliver of cake on a daily basis, or just a larger amount of like a cheat meal, which we'll talk about, and some dessert once a week. Another one could be, what if you only had you ate well all day, but for lunch was your moderation, and you just had your favorite, just like one slice of pizza, right? 2 slices of pizza maybe. And so it's a good debate. It really is. I'm going to try to make it a little bit easier, and I'm just going to keep it in most people's wheelhouse where we're going to be eating well, let's say breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So breakfast, again, choose your favorite breakfast. I'm just going to say it's a smoothie. And then at lunch, I'm just going to say you're having a salad with some chickpeas on top, cut up vegetables, olive oil, maybe your favorite fig glazed balsamic, whatever it is. And if you need a little starch, you get some diced Japanese yams or sweet potatoes, like whatever it might be, right? And then for dinner, you're having this extravagant wild salmon with let's say asparagus. It's special little sauce that's healthy that it's cooked in. And maybe there's some broccoli on the side as well. And if again, you need a little bit more starch, you're having some wild rice. Okay, so you've got this nice day of meals prepared for yourself. Again, integrate whatever your diet is. I'm not here to tell you on this specific show what you should be eating for your 2 meals a day, 1 meal a day, 3 meals a day, your snacks, whatever it might be. We're just saying that you're eating overall nutritious food. Okay, plant-based, paleo, however you want to eat it. Okay, so now that's say your typical diet. Now we're just going to say, is it better though that each afternoon when you get a little bit of those hangries, that you have 2 of your favorite small little cookies? I call them paleo, call them whatever you want. But there's regular sugar in it, cane sugar. There's honey, there's maple syrup. But we're just going to say there's some sugar in there, right? And then there's going to be some processed flour. It's processed almond flour, or it's processed regular flour, or it's processed gluten-free flour. It's processed food. That's what I'm getting at, right? So we're basically eating some processed carbohydrates, right, with some sugar and some fat. Okay, so the fat is going to be your chocolate chips, your nuts, your whatever, or it's just going to be some grass-fed butter, again, whatever it might be. And you can call it a cheat or not call it a cheat, that's fine. Again, or insert your favorite store-bought cookies, like your favorite, what are those things called? Not vanilla wafers, but it's those old school cookies. They're from I don't even know what they're called, like Nantucket or something like that. Anyway, you insert your favorite little treat, but you're only having a couple. Okay, so that's what I'm getting at. Or and the reason I'm using cookies is it's one of my favorite things ever. Really, I could justify eating cookies like the next person, so that's why I'm doing this show as well. Is it better just to have a couple every day? Okay, we'll talk about that in a moment. And then the big cheat, though, would be, okay, you're going out on a Friday night, Saturday night, and you're going to have pasta, you're going to have bread, and then for dessert, you're going to have your favorite molten lava cake with a side of gelato, coffee gelato, and it's going to be absolutely delicious. Okay, so that's it. So we've got a Friday night big cheat meal, epic cheat meal, that's, some of your favorite foods and you're not holding back, or every single day you're eating those cookies or whatever it might be. And again, insert your favorite thing every afternoon or after dinner. Okay, so let's look at that. Again, and let's try to figure out which one is best. I'm going to give you both sides. We can have a debate here. I would love to hear in the comments, better to have it daily or once a week. And I'll give you my vote at the end for myself as well. And this debate actually came up because I was listening to an interview with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Nothing to do with food, right? It was about, I don't even know, like how healthcare is handled, et cetera, et cetera. And he says, I don't believe in debates because he only believes that there's one way of looking at things. And I think that that's totally fine. Like that is, again, an opinion. Like it's one thing. I actually like to debate, and I like to debate in a healthy way where both people are entitled to their opinion. And I also don't think that most science is rock solid. Like there's a reason why there are different opinions on conventional medicine or natural health or like whatever it might be. And I think that there's oftentimes truth in both. And I think that it's situational. And that's why what we do is bioindividuality. You're like, is it right for you at this right time, right? This moment in time. And that's how you figure it out. But I don't think that debate should ever be squashed. And that is because we need dissenting points of view, if only to further strengthen our own argument, to make us really research, think, and work harder in order to solidify all the different points of view. But anyway, I digress. But that's this topic of debate. I really like that. It's like the topic of debate. Like, should it be this or this? Because you can make an argument both ways. I'm going to make the argument right now. So smaller cheats every single day. Well, there's this part to it. If you're having a little something every day, not a lot of something, but a little something, well, then you're telling yourself that I'm not deprived. Sure, I need to drink my smoothie in the morning, plant-based lunch, and then my, wild fish at dinner, whatever it might be, my Mediterranean dinner. You might say, but this is not all the foods that I want to be eating. So on Monday, you might have your favorite chocolate chip cookies. And on Tuesday, it might be a little bag of chips in the afternoon. On Wednesday, it could be a small bowl of your favorite, ice cream, plant-based ice cream. But it's just like, it's a little bit every day, right? It's just this little bit every day. Okay, so it doesn't even matter, a couple hundred calories, whatever it might be, but like it's still a non-healthy food. It's really difficult to convince me that eating, chips or a lot of these processed foods are healthy when they're typically fried in oil or they're going to cause some type of larger glucose spike from an unhealthy food. And there's high levels maybe of arachidonic acid or high levels of inflammatory processed grains is really what we're talking about, right? Okay, so there's that fact. But every single day, though, there's no deprivation. Like you get to have a little something. And so you're like, all right, well, I will eat these foods and I'll do my healthy plan as long as I get a little something every day. And that can satisfy a lot of people. That can keep them adhering to a plan if they know that they get a handful of whatever it is their favorite thing is every single day. So they can have a little popcorn, they can have a little bit of ice cream, a little bit of cookies, some chips, they can have their favorite chocolate, even though I don't think chocolate's the worst thing in the world by any means. I think that there's potentially a lot of antioxidants and health-based benefits, but it can certainly be overdone. And of course, we're talking about like good quality dark chocolate. I'm not talking about like milk chocolate with chocolate liqueur in it and all sorts of different sugars, et cetera, added to it. But you know what I'm saying. And so there is something to not being deprived and to maybe being able to stick with the plan longer if you're able to have a little something every day. And so that's one side of the argument is like, listen, I'm not going to diet. I'm not going to eat healthy because I wouldn't call it a diet. I would call it like eating healthy, a healthy diet, right? But I'm not going to do this if I don't get a little something every day because I feel too deprived. Okay, fair enough. That's one argument. Now, the issue is though, I just want to explain this. The issue is that every time you eat those, especially store-bought cookies or ice cream or whatever it might be, you're getting couple issues with that. One, you're going to get a spike and it's probably going to be a larger spike in glucose. Now, maybe you don't feel that's as big a deal and you're not worried about, weight loss or losing body fat or whatever it is. Okay, fair enough. But you're still going to get the inflammation from it. And the inflammation is going to last anywhere from 12 to 31 hours. That's been fairly well proven now based on the food and based on the health of the individual, et cetera. And you're also going to be potentially feeding the gut microbiome foods that it doesn't necessarily want. And so that's more on a daily basis. So although it's a small assault, it's a daily small assault. So it's kind of like, water dripping on something every single day, those little drops, right? Eventually what happens? Well, the water erodes even the strongest rock. So I think that's worth noting, okay? So every single day, you get maybe the hormonal issues, the maybe elevated levels of estrogen, you get the potentially the inflammation load from inflammatory prostaglandins from the specific types of processed, let's just say grain or foods, or the dairy. And then you get potentially the glucose dysregulation. Okay, so we've got that. And again, it's going to take maybe 12 to 31 hours for that to rebound. So it's like every day you're being a little bit inflamed. It's one way to look at it. Okay, now the one large cheat a week would be, let's go back to, again, like every once in a while, I shouldn't say every once in a while, because every week I do a cheat meal. And sometimes I do enjoy that to be pasta, because I very much enjoy pasta, and bread. But I've been doing less bread as of late, just because I know that it doesn't make me feel all that phenomenal. So here's the thing. Bread, pasta, and you have your dessert afterwards. Pick your favorite dessert. It could be more cookies, right? So that'd be totally fine if that's what you're into. Ice cream, cake, you name it, right? Okay, so that's once a week. And it's happening, let's just say Friday, and you're going out to dinner at whatever time, and that is going to be, it's gonna last, your meal, let's say an hour and a half, 2 hours. Okay, so from like 6 to 8, 8 to 10, whatever time your meal is on Friday night. Back in the day, mine was much later, and now with 2 kids, it's much earlier. But having said all that, it's once a week cheat. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, everything's stable, everything's pretty good. Glucose, inflammation, gut microbiome. Then Friday night comes, cheat meal. You might even have alcohol at the cheat meal, right? Your moderation during the week might even be, the only thing I'm gonna eat well, but I'm gonna have 1 small glass of red wine. Okay, again, that's a dysregulation every single day. But on your cheat meal, once a week on Friday, you've got your bread and pasta, you've got a glass of wine, and you have your dessert. Okay, so you're getting this big spike, probably not gonna be your best night's sleep Friday night, that's for sure, right? And you're gonna have to then digest that and process that through the liver, and then you're gonna recover, let's say again, in like 24, 31 hours after that meal in terms of inflammation. Blood sugar, of course, should be back to normal fairly quickly if your body's balanced, but it's important to note that. So those are the differences, but I will say this as well, and I think that this is important and worth noting, that for a lot of people, and I would say I fall into that camp, if I have something that I very much enjoy out of the ordinary of going out to dinner, let's say it's mid-afternoon and there's chips in the house, or we keep ice cream in the house. If I have it once and it's outside of a restaurant, whereas where I like to do a cheat meal, because then it's kind of situational as well for my psyche, is that you're more like a lot of people, not everybody, I will want that next thing the next day. So if I get used to having, let's say, chips at lunch, even if they're the healthiest chips in the whole world, they're fried in oil. Okay, so I'll want those the next day if they're there. If I had ice cream after dinner one night because it was there, and I don't care if it's a plant-based ice cream, whatever it is, then if there's still some left, my brain's always like, well, you had ice cream last night. It was really good. Don't you want it again tonight? So what I find is that, for me at least, not for everybody, it's more challenging if I were to have a little bit, just even a little bit, which I'm not good with a little bit either. Like if you gave me 1 scoop of ice cream, I'm like, oh, that was nice, but not as nice as a bowl of ice cream, right? And if you give me a half a cookie, that was nice, but I'd rather have 2 or 3. And so for some people, you kind of have to know who you are, is you might be better. And we tell people, again, for the first 21 days on our like Fatlocity plan or a CBO protocol or a detox, there's no cheats. And that's because we just need to restabilize those blood sugar levels, the endorphins, the caseinomorphins, the dopaminergic-based response, like all of those things. We're trying to stabilize it because I'm someone that absolutely produces a lot of dopamine. And if I had that nice little sweet treat, I'm like, oh, let's get more dopamine. It's like, I don't need any more dopamine. Like we're good on that, right? So I have this 2 perspectives. One is I'm not into spiking my glucose levels with unhealthy food or promoting higher levels of prostaglandins and inflammation or any type of like poor sleep with doing a little cheat every day. That's not something that I want. I want to try to get like really base level strong for as many days and hours as I can. And then once a week, I will blow it out and have whatever it is that I want. Some weeks, I don't really feel like that much. And some weeks, yeah, I'll have whatever I want. And that one time, yeah, I know that it's not gonna be the best night's sleep. It's not gonna be whatever. And that's a trade-off, right? So you don't even have to do it if you don't want. But I'm sharing with people different perspectives. And then for me also, I wake up the next day. It's not my house. And yeah, it's back to being able to be level stable. And on tomorrow's show, I'll talk about my 1-day reset diet that I do on Mondays as well to make sure that everything is absolutely back to normal and recover really, really quick. So ultimately, we'll put it this way. The choice is yours. One, you need to know what type of individual you are. And two, do you want little bouts of inflammation and glucose and hormone dysregulation on a daily basis? Or would you rather it once a week where you get to have everything you want versus in one meal, not the whole day, one meal. So it's not 24 hours of dysregulation or 16 hours, whatever you're up for, instead of every day. Now, again, if you are someone that can't have it without wanting it the next day, so you're careful, you're having it outside of your house, kind of like what I do. But if you're someone that can't follow a diet, like really doesn't want to follow healthy eating, if they can't have a little something every day because they feel too deprived, well then for you, it really may be best to have that little moderate cheat, we'll call it, or healthy treat, whatever you want to refer to it as, on a daily basis. So again, the debate is up. It's up for debate, right? Leave in the comments below whether you are the small daily treat type of person or the once a week, maybe even twice, big epic cheat meal, more like I may be. All right, take care, everybody. Fun show. Really enjoy being able to bring these topics to you. I appreciate your time. As always, if this show is helpful, do feel free to share it with anyone you believe it could serve.